So it's all about what does your ancestral spirit needs, and not just be so quick to burn Imphepho. Because sometimes what happens, uthi ushisa Imphepho kanti izinto ziba worse. Uxake ukuthi hawu kanti kwenzakalani. You know, it's because sometimes your ancestors don't want Imphepho and you're not supposed to be burning Imphepho. Okay, so ukushunqisa, loosely translated into English, is when you take a herb or a plant and you burn it in such a way that it results in the creation of smoke. So you're taking that plant and you're making it into a vapor so that the plant actually radiates throughout the space and throughout the air so that it can serve its particular purpose.
And I know you're going to give us a demonstration in just a moment, Sia, but let's talk about ukushunqisa Imphepho.
Yeah.
What is the difference between ukushunqisa Imphepho and ukushunqisa eminye imithi?
Okay, so imithi in general, right? Especially I like to call them your OTCs, your over-the-counter medications of African indigenous herbs and medicines, the kinds that you don't necessarily need a healer's prescription for.
Okay.
Right? The difference, but those ones can be pretty much used by anybody. The same way you and I can grab a Panado or a Med Lemon or any other kind of
so DIY
type of thing, right? Imphepho is different in the sense that ngokukhulisa kwami nalokho engikwaziyo mina is that the people that burn Imphepho are the heads, the matriarchs and the patriarchs of the household, or alternatively abantu abathwasile or abantu abathwasayo.
Okay.
Right? You don't necessarily need Imphepho to connect with abaphansi. Mina nje, I connect perfectly fine with my ancestors and I get all the answers I need, and I've never burnt Imphepho in my entire life.
Never?
I've never burnt Imphepho in my entire life.
Wow.
Never.
So how has that connection worked for you then? Because this is a question that comes up for a lot of people who are interested in making a spiritual connection with their ancestors, but they feel ukuthi mhlawumbe Imphepho is not necessarily aligned with their lifestyle, if I can use that phrasing.
Imphepho works if your ancestral spirit wants to connect with Imphepho.
Okay.
So abantu abanaboprophetu, abantu abanobuthandazi, right?
Yes.
Usually for those people, Imphepho doesn't work as a great connector. It's not one size fits all.
Okay.
Yabo? And for me, the thing that connects me a lot with my ancestors, water is a big thing because I've inherited from Dr. Mkhize and Matuma the water spirit, right?
Yes.
Because it's always land-based or water-based, right? Yes. So I'm more towards the water. So for me, water, seawater, going to the waterfall, going to the river, that for me is the great connector. And as long as I have access to that, I'll be fine. So it's all about what does your ancestral spirit needs, and not just be so quick to burn Imphepho. Because sometimes what happens, uthi ushisa Imphepho kanti izinto ziba worse. Uxake ukuthi hawu kanti kwenzakalani. You know, it's because sometimes your ancestors don't want Imphepho and you're not supposed to be burning Imphepho.
Let's talk about that. I mean, ama benefits okushunqisa you've just unpacked now indaba yempepho. Ukushunqisa ke kusiza ngani?
Okay, ukushunqisa is a great way of taking a plant in raw physical form and ensuring that it fills the space ngokwemimoya, right?
Okay.
Because you know, sometimes like other plants and other herbs, you can drink them, you can rub them on your body. But if you want to cleanse the aura, that's the English word that I'm looking for. There it is.
Yes.
If you want to cleanse the aura of the space in which you are in, ukushunqisa, to smoke something, is the best way to do that.
I see. All right, let's do a demonstration very quickly.
Today we're going to, this is a simple, it's a herb that you would use to cleanse, like I'm saying, to cleanse the aura in the space. You can pretty much use it anywhere, really. Sometimes it comes in this raw form with the powders, and then it also comes in like with this branch. So get a simple kitchen scissors and just cut a few pieces, you know, inside there, just to like get what's on the branch into the actual mixture. Because sometimes when they do give you umuti, usually most healers will mix it up. Right. And there'll be a whole bunch of other things, and they don't necessarily have the time to actually do this particular process for you.
Do you do it once a week, once a month, daily?
So for me, if it's your first time ukushunqisa in your house, I would do it for the first 3 days. Okay. And then thereafter,
consecutive days, eh?
Yeah, consecutive days. And then thereafter, I would say maybe do it after having guests, you know, maybe after having a lot of people over. Even when you do go out into very crowded spaces, you do pick up energies and you do bring them back home. Especially if you have small children in living with you, then I would definitely make sure that we are showing this at least once a month. So you can either do it on a flat stove, right? No pot at all or no pan at all, and then you just drop about half a teaspoon or so on. Or you can do what we've done here today. We just get a normal pot, normal pan, heat the pan up, and then once the pan is heated, you get about a teaspoon, nothing more than a teaspoon. Most herbs are quite strong, so you don't want to overwhelm yourself and your senses, especially if you're dealing with people that have sinus issues.
Yes.
So half a teaspoon at a time. Add more if you want, depending on how much ufuna ukuthi kushunqe. And then obviously as ishunqe lento ne, you don't have to leave it on the stove. If you've got the plate, then what you can do is you can pick up the pan and walk around the house with it. Ushunqe in the actual house. And then obviously whilst you're actually walking around and whilst you're shunqe, you're talking to your ancestors, you're asking them to clean the space. Anybody that's trying to send anything that's evil or has bad intention to be unsuccessful, and cleanse the space and look after this home and protect this home.